want to be safe. We all want to be warm. We all want to feel loved, know the comfort of home. Want our children to grow, learn to make their own sound. Seems to me we all walk on common ground.
Common ground. Anyway. I can't help it. It's
Yes.
all part of me now.
It's good. It's a good song.
Oh, man. Hello, everybody, again. We are back, and today we're talking about, expertise, the importance of it, the importance of knowing what you're doing when you have an important job, like president, or any of the people that work for the president. I'm sure we all remember when DT first decided he was going to be president. He started a campaign. He's going to have all the best, only the best people, right? You remember that?
Yeah. The top line, the whole thing. Yeah, sure.
The best of the best, the top of the top.
Because he can afford to buy anybody. So there you go. Yeah.
Right. And he did. That's for sure.
That's good.
So he surrounded himself with quite a wide variety, an array of very strange people, some of which were dangerous people, like I believe it was our security chief, which Obama actually fired and told him in his discussions as they were transitioning, you don't want to bring this guy back. He's kind of dangerous and everything. So that was the first guy.
That was it,
back.
right? Get him.
Put him right in.
I like dangerous guys.
And they did a background check, and they decided, oh, wait a minute now, he lied to the vice president, so maybe Obama was right. I hate to say that, but anyhow. So we had a lot of screwy people coming in and out of the White House. The reason that I mention it now is because there's a really, really strong possibility that if he were to be reelected, he would bring a lot of these people back. There's really only one thing that's important to Donald Trump, and that's loyalty. Ability, skill, that has nothing to do with it. Because remember, only he is the one that makes all the decisions. He knows everything. He knows more than the generals.
I and I alone can fix it.
Right.
That's the great quote from the first campaign.
That's
back
right.
in the day.
So it doesn't matter who he hires, just as long as they bow down to him, kiss his feet, and pay him homage at all times, and are absolutely blind loyalists.
So get on to McEntee. This is good. Talk about him.
McEntee. Here's an example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
John McEntee, John David McEntee. He was only born on May 9th, 1990. Okay, that makes him a pretty young guy at the beginning of the Trump administration, just breaching, his 30s. And he was basically a gopher on Fox News, just starting up there. Then Trump decided he was going to run for president, and McEntee said, I'm going to jump on that boat. So he went in and he, sycophanted his way up close to Trump and everything. And Trump said, okay, I'll make this guy my body man. All right. Not knowing who he is, where he came from, what his background is, didn't matter. You'll be my body man. Start carrying my bags. Okay. So he did that. He was a good pup, and he carried Trump's bags.
Clearly, he sirred him a lot. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Sir. Yes,
Yeah.
Sir.
Sir is the important word.
That's DT, as you call him. I like that. DT.
Yeah.
DT. Yeah, DT likes sir in many of his stories.
Right. He'll always start with,
Hello,
he said, sir. Anyway, so McEntee was very good at saying sir, and so he got the job. Body man. After a while, Trump's in the White House, and John Kelly, you may remember, General John Kelly, was his chief of staff. Well, he decides, you know what, I'm the chief of staff around here. I better check on these people that he's bringing in, all these best people.
That's a chief of staff job. Yeah, makes sense.
That's what he does.
Sure.
So he says, well, who is this John McEntee guy anyhow? And he starts to investigate him. And he realizes, after doing a background check, that this guy in 2018 fails security clearance. He can't be given security. And yet here he is sitting in the outer oval right next to the president all the time, listening in on conversations that he he should not hear.
Yeah, didn't some of Trump's kids also fail security clearance?
As a matter of fact, they did.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a regular thing there.
Yeah, but they were the best, and they knew
Best.
how to say sir.
Best,
Okay.
sir.
Dad, sir, I guess is what they would say. But anyhow,
Dad.
Sir Dad. Sir Dad ahead. Okay. Yes. So McEntee is found out to be dangerous, and that he shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office or the White House. So Kelly fires him. But Kelly is only a general who has served in battle and in war and has been serving the country for, 40 some odd years.
What does he know?
Yeah, he doesn't know anything.
Bad judge of character.
So Trump decides, well, this guy, he's kind of, he's acting too in charge. I can't have that.
I can't.
So he fires Kelly, and he brings back McEntee. And this time, he puts McEntee, his former body man, who has never hired or fired anyone in his entire life. Never. He puts him in charge of White House human resources. Of the kind of human resources where you're hiring and firing people that are standing right next to the president and are involved directly with the president.
So now he's hiring and firing people that make the world of difference to our lives.
Yeah.
Our lives.
Yeah. And it's important to note that at the very end of his administration, after he lost the election, John McEntee started to fire all the heads of our military, including our Secretary of Defense.
Gee, I wonder why they were doing that.
And he goes in and John wants to write a presidential executive order that he wants Trump to sign. And he's doing this based upon conversations he's had with Trump. Trump wants to pull all of our troops out of everywhere. He wants to pull them out of Afghanistan, Somalia. He wants to pull our troops out of Germany. Our troops in Germany, which is our bulwark against Russian aggression in Europe. Okay? So John McEntee writes an executive order.
Who was he working for at the time?
John McEntee?
Yeah.
Well, he was working for Trump, but...
It doesn't sound like he was actually working for anything that we'd recognize as the United States of America. It sounds like he was working for some other totalitarian thug, doesn't it?
Could be Putin.
Yeah, sounds like
just maybe.
Just maybe.
He was certainly pleasing Putin, that's for sure. And so he goes into the cabinet room and he finds an old executive order and he uses that as a template. And he writes an order withdrawing all of our troops from Germany, Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia.
Pull them all home.
Just bring them all home.
Send them down to the southern border.
And withdrawing them immediately, like right away. I want them home right now. And then he goes into Trump with this executive order that he's written up, and Trump signs it. Trump signs the order, which under any normal circumstances would mean that soldiers start getting on planes and leaving immediately.
Right.
That's what it said.
Right.
Thank God we had, Milley in charge of the military at the time, and he just said, well, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to circulate this order for the next 2 months until the president is no longer the president, and we're going to make sure that everybody sees it and signs off, and we go through our procedures and our processes, and then we're going to forget that it ever existed because it's absurd, and we're not going to do this.
Boy, that Milley, I'll tell you, he's a radical.
Yeah.
He's a person who's going to get in trouble when DT comes back into office.
Yeah. No question about it.
Send him to Gitmo. That's what he'll do.
Yeah. No question
because
about it.
Milley actually defended democracy.
So this is what happens when you have somebody who doesn't know what he's doing leading the country or anything else for that matter. He tends to hire what people he calls the very best when the only requirement is that they're undyingly loyal to him and will do anything he asks them or tells them to do at any time and never push back in any way.
It's a cult. The whole thing is a cult. And that's what we have with that side of the political aisle. We have this cult thing that's metastasized.
Oh, absolutely. And they're actually interviewing right now. And this time they're not going to go just down to the layer of, the cabinet and those people that work in the White House and around the White House. They want all of the employees of the government. We're talking about tens of thousands of people to be put through a loyalty test.
Yeah, they have to sign an oath.
And they're using AI actually to research these people, to see if they've ever said anything negative about Trump on social media or anything else.
Oh, gee, there's AI entering into the narrative thread once again. Yeah. It's so good for us, that AI, I'll tell you. I have a situation right now where one of the schools that I'm working at is using AI to correspond with me. Now, the problem is I can't access the post to post my grades. The grades were done 2 weeks ago, but I can't get the grades posted on the college site because something's a glitch. So I follow the directions that I am sent, and when I follow the directions, the bottom line is to repeat what I just did. Nothing is fixed, and this is AI. There's no person, because they're all away. It's the holidays, they're all away. So AI is responding to my need.
Very pleasantly.
Yes, and I type into it, no, that doesn't work. I already tried that. You got to give me some other kind of advice. The grade's got to be, right now we're 2 days away from the deadline. Yep. I've been trying to post for 2 weeks on this particular site, and it responds with understanding, an email, understanding the problem, go down this bullet list, and it's everything I already just did, and it ends with, and it will work. No, it doesn't work. You got to give me like a human being at the other end that I can talk. Now, the problem there is, will that human being have any knowledge or expertise in understanding how this works? The last time I got somebody at IT, and we got to a frustrating situation in yet a different school, the human being said, well, I really don't understand why it does that either.
Right.
And I'm teaching online. I can't walk into an office somewhere and we can discuss this. This is teaching online. This is what's the problematic with teaching online, which more and more is the case now.
I hear some cussing coming. You know?
Yep. Son of a bitch.
There you go. Doesn't it feel better now?
I could get we barely scratched the surface on that. Yeah, son of a bitch.
But you see, that's the thing. You're right. Right now, we're in the very early stages of AI. You know, it can do some extraordinary things already, but without experience, without somebody who is reaching into it, asking it for help, having the proper expertise, you're going to be in a situation where something really dangerous could happen. Because this guy, John McEntee, he's never hired or fired anyone, ever. So he digs into AI to see about them. Oh, they said something negative about Trump on Facebook, so let's forget about them. Never mind the
forget
years
that
and
they
years
were
of experience.
functional.
Right.
That they were functional, and now they're gone. And who do they get replaced with? As long as they kiss the emperor's ring, they get the post.
Sure.
But can they do anything?
Yeah.
Can they actually help the mechanism of this republic to function?
Well, the converse of that is oh, look, we found somebody who calls Biden SOB or this or that, or who expresses hatred, for LGBTQ people. That's our kind of guy. Yeah. Let's bring him in. That kind of a thing.
So, how are we doing on time?
We're doing pretty good. We've got a little bit of time left. Okay. We're trying to keep these things to right around 15 minutes, so we're right at about 2 minutes. But
okay.
At any rate, you brought in a book, The Death of Expertise.
Sure. This is Tom Nichols' book, The Death of Expertise, and the subtitle is The Campaign Against Established Knowledge and Why It Matters.
Well worth the read.
And it's a great book. I've actually taught with this book over at Ramapo College. Here is a quote that I picked out for you guys today to mull over. People do not research so much as they search for pretty pages online to provide answers they like with the least amount of effort and in the shortest time. The resulting flood of information, always of varying quality and sometimes of uncertain sanity, creates a veneer of knowledge that actually leaves people worse off than if they knew nothing at all. It's an old saying, but it's true. It ain't what you don't know that'll hurt you. It's what you do know that ain't so. Ooh. And I got to tell you, I just finished grading well over 100 finals, essays. And I can pick out the handful of papers that students actually did any real research on. I would say out of that 100, maybe 10 papers were well researched. And the rest of them were AI. You can pick it out now. It's basically they just cut and paste from whatever AI sends them. They send AI the question that I ask. with the bullets that I ask in the essay question for their final, for the grade.
Yeah.
And AI and the books, the list of whatever the books, like if I was going to use this one, they would send this one too. And then half an hour later, AI sends them a 300-word essay written expertly. So if they're fool enough to put that in, I get it right away. I understand.
Yeah.
But actually, I can pretty much get it anyway because it doesn't talk the way they talk. And I'm used to how the students talk from discussion forums and that sort of thing. It's sad. It's because they don't get it. I ask students, do you ever go to the library? And they say, yeah, they got computers there. No, but I mean, do you go to the library if you needed to do research?
Or some periodic literature. Do you ever do that?
Would you know how to do that? And they get embarrassed because they figure I'm sort of picking on them. I'm not picking on them. I'm going to take them over there and show them how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, what we're doing with our students essentially is dumbing down their skills of research. This is exactly what Nichols talks about in his book. We're dumbing them down, and this is problematic because where we're headed in terms of a participatory populace is a populace that doesn't know it's not participating. It thinks it is because it's participating on this, but it doesn't know it's actually just playing a role.
Yeah.
Offering a thin veneer of pseudo-knowledge.
And it's saying what it's being told to say.
Yeah.
You know, people are not operating from a position of analysis and trying to figure something out and going through the sometimes laborious task of putting together facts and then trying to decide, you know, make an informed decision.
Do you know the students, the most frequently asked question I'm getting right now is, Professor, oh, sound like sir. They say, Professor. No.
You
Mr.
are
Steck,
a professor.
Whatever. I am. I can actually say that.
You can actually say that.
They ask, how do we know what's true? How do we know what's true? Talk about the existential moment that we are in.
Yeah.
You could ask that question of 90% of America right now.
Yeah.
How do we know what's true? And the reality is, if you're experienced with real research, real like any of the stuff that we actually do, the real research, the vetting of information, the reviewing of sources, if you know that, the kind of stuff Bob Woodward did, if you know how to do that, you can know what's true.
Yeah.
But we've been convinced by leaders that like us to not read.
Well, you know, a dumb populace is definitely much more easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, part of the danger that we have right now. People say, well, I don't understand. We've got a guy here who has now been convicted of basically taking a woman into a dressing room in a retail outlet and raping her. Convicted. He's got 91 counts against him. He says the silent part out loud. Why are these people following him? And I recall a statement that Barack Obama made one time. He said, if all I ever listened to was Fox TV, I'd hate me too.
Yeah, exactly. But that's part of the machine that's controlling the populace. And like I was talking a couple of weeks ago about Aldous Huxley and Brave New World Revisited, we are falling into that. In fact, we've long since fallen into that pattern of allowing the thinking to be done for us. And when that's pointed out, people get resentful.
Yeah.
They say, what do you mean? What are you talking about? But the reality is, set me up in debate with anybody you like.
And what that sets you up for is victimhood.
Yep.
Okay. It's so easy then for Trump to come in and start talking to you about how brutalized you are and how poor and battered you are. Listen, things have been wrong. Okay. Both parties could have done a better job in many, many ways over the last 30 years, and they didn't. They really dropped the ball. Yep. Both of them did.
Yep.
Okay?
No question.
We get that, all right? But you're not a victim, all right? We need to stand on our own 2 feet right now. We need to take responsibility for our lives, and we need to step up and make sure that the same people who made those mistakes don't make those mistakes in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, we're out of time. Let's go.
Hey, look, folks, the main thing I would leave you with this week is
expertise.
Take a look at that book and think really long and hard the next time before you go into Google and decide that, that's where you're going to get all your answers. they're not all correct. All right, they're not all right. They require your thought. They require your input, your experience, your life experience, in order for you to determine whether how best to make a decision. Very important. All right. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
We all want to be safe. We all want to be warm. We all want to feel loved, know the comfort of home. Want our children to grow, learn to make their own sound. Seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground, common ground. We all walk on common ground.
We all wanna be strong, fully free and alive. Take just enough chances, stand up tall and with pride. Yes, we all wanna play, have good friends all around. It seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground, common ground. We all walk
On common ground. Some conversations aren't easy, and we wonder how we'll turn this mess around. But if we realize and seek to compromise,
we sleep under one moon, lift our face to one sun, feel the wetness of rain, seek shelter, everyone. Yearn for rest when we're weary, seek solace when we're down. It seems to me we all walk on common ground.
Some conversations aren't easy,
and we wonder how we'll turn this mess around.
but if we realize and seek to compromise, we can meet on common ground. Common ground. We all walk on common ground. Common ground. Common ground. We all walk. I know that we all walk 1 foot forward. We all walk on common ground.